Good afternoon. I wanted to talk to you today about an interesting topic, one that this video is sent to people that are in my client base that are 62 and a half years and older. And the reason for that is we're going to be talking about a medical set-aside. And what a medical set-aside is, very important in the disposition of your ultimate case. Because at age 65, Medicare will be partially responsible or all responsible for your medical treatment. And the Congress back in the 1990s had decided that, wait a minute, these people are getting a massive amount of settlement money. Massive is probably the wrong word, but they are getting settlement money for the future medical. And yet Medicare is paying for those for people who are 65 and older. So they passed a law that basically said, hey, if you get a settlement in your workers' comp matter that in part takes care of the future medical, and all settlements do take care of your future medical, with very rare exception, then that has to be set forth in a specific documentation and agreed to by all the parties and, of course, by CMS, which controls the Medicare process for the federal government. So it's a very, very important process. So what a medical set-aside is it's conducted, and it becomes a report, if you will, on all of the anticipated, reasonably expected medical treatment that you may require for the future as a result of your injury on the job. And they comb through the doctor's reports, they go through the QME report, they go through the diagnostic tests, and they recognize that certain things are going to be needed or expected to be needed as you go on with your life, even if you settle the case. They want to make sure that you're properly compensated for it. And more importantly, that Medicare isn't now paying that bill and you pocketed the money. That would be double recovery. So what they do is the parties select a neutral company to conduct this medical set-aside. And in essence, they just list all of those medical services, doctor's visits, prescriptions, durable equipment such as canes or wrists, bands, or walking tools, or whatever there is needed in your case for the future, including surgeries, recovery for surgeries, physical therapy. All of that is then evaluated and determine what it would be on a reasonable basis and what Medicare would charge for it. And so that becomes the basis in part of what your settlement is all about, okay? And then we look at the medical set-aside to make sure that it covers all of the items that we believe are necessary and the ones that the doctors have listed in their MMI report. So this is a critical time frame for you. It protects you down the road. You will use that money toward paying off or paying for medical treatment as it becomes necessary. And Medicare won't pick up any benefits for medical treatment to that injured body part as long as you haven't spent all the money that's been designated in the settlement for the future medical and is set out in the medical set-aside. So it becomes a critical document, something that you will take with you from this point forward. And then the last thing you need to know about the medical set-aside is it comes up with a specific number, pretty close to right down to the pennies, like $12,572.82. That's the kind of accuracy that they have. And we know that as you buy and pay for medical treatment in the future, it's going to be more expensive. But all that means is that you're going to be using up that money a little bit quicker than what we thought perhaps it would be used up when we settled the case. We can't predict that. So the Medicare has agreed that they will go with the price of that service or that medicine or that device as it is today. And once you've spent that amount of money, Medicare agrees to pick up all the medical treatment from that point forward. So then you're protected either way. You've got your own money that's part of the settlement that's paid for by the defendant. And once that's used up for medical purposes only, then Social Security picks up the rest of that treatment for the rest of your life. And that's what an MSA is all about. It's a critical part of your case. It will be done, and we will go over it line by line with you once we get it so that you can see what's been laid out. And a lot of times things are missing from that based on what you've told the doctor, what the doctor has told you, or the physical therapist told you, or the surgeon has told you. All of these bits and pieces of information help get an accurate figure as much as possible so that the MSA is reasonable and is acceptable by the defendant, by you, and of course by the judge as well. Okay? And we'll be talking more about that MSA as your case gets closer and closer toward resolution. Thanks.